Iowa State 10, Iowa 7. The Cyclones snap a 6-game losing streak to the Hawkeyes, and as we speak, carrying the Cyhawk Trophy off the Kinnick Stadium turf. Ross Peterson is with me, Travis Justice. And Ross, I can tell you right now, the Jethro's Barbecue Sound-Off coming up in about an hour and a half is going to be on fire because there's so many things to talk about, and it's going to be solely on the offense with this Iowa football team. The phone's already ringing, by the way.
And I'm not surprised at all. Travis, tonight's going to be an electric show. We're going to get people calling for Kirk Ferentz's job. We're going to get people that are calling for Brian Ferentz's job. We're going to hear the word nepotism a few times tonight. Dude, and I won't push back on any of it. This was awful. This was awful that you did this a week after what we saw last week. You did this in the Cyhawk game. I mean, like this game was awful. It was I don't know, man. I'm as close as I have been in several years to thinking maybe it is time for a change. Maybe things have moved past Kirk Ferentz because
150 yards of total offense.
Unreal. And it's not just this game. You got to give credit to Matt Campbell and Iowa State's defense and all you. They won this football game, and Iowa didn't deserve to even have a chance to win that football game at the end. The fact that if that field goal would have gone through, that would have been just laughable. It really would have been laughable. And I think it's part of the reason you and I are kind of in a light mood right now because of the way that game ended. It just seems crazy. This is, inexcusable is maybe a good word for it. Travis, so much for us to break down, but the spike at the end of the game, when you've had 3 minutes of a review to get a play ready, as soon as they blow that whistle, the clock starts again and you get a down back. You can write something here. You can do, and they go out there and spike the ball. I told you what it reminded me of was somebody hitting the wrong button on their controller playing Madden. Like you forgot oh shoot, I didn't mean to spike it there. No. Can we go back and I can actually run the play I wanted to run because I had 3 minutes to set up a play. And I went out there and spiked the ball. Travis, I love Kirk Ferentz. I love the guy. I think he's an amazing coach. I will start to question that the longer this goes on because you can't put okay, so let's just break it. I'm sorry, I'm ranting on you here. Let's just break it all down though. If Spencer Petras is the best option you've got, that's on Kirk Ferentz. You haven't recruited and developed the talent. If Spencer Petras is not the problem in its offensive line, that's on Kirk Ferentz. If it's not the offensive line and it's not that the quarterback isn't good enough or you don't have a good enough backup, but it's the play calling or it's the scheme, that's on Kirk Ferentz. So the defense is amazing, and I don't know how you rebound here, Travis, because like next week against Nevada,
Nevada's not very good.
It's going to be the same thing. It won't matter. If the Hawkeyes score 77 next week, it just doesn't matter.
You're right. You're 100% correct on that. The truth is, and I know this is a bit harsh, Kirk Ferentz should start his news conference with the media making a direct apology to Iowa fans. He should. He should apologize to Iowa fans. He owes Iowa fans an apology. There's no other way to look at it from an offensive standpoint after last week's putrid offensive production in the opener, and it was bad. To me, it was worse this week. Now, I know Spencer Petras' numbers were a little bit better passing-wise, and his quarterback rating's a little bit better, but this was worse. Travis, it really, really was.
And at this point, I think Kirk Ferentz also has to show us. And Kirk Ferentz doesn't owe me, Ross Peterson, anything. He doesn't owe us as Hawkeye fans anything, unfortunately. He owes it to, I think, himself and Alex Padilla to at least give the kid a shot because nothing is changing. Nothing's getting better. More interceptions, still no touchdowns. A 9th interception now over the last 8 games and still just 1 touchdown. You've got to I thought that's what you're going to say is he needs to start his press conference by saying, we just talked to Spencer Petras and explained to him, we've got to make a change. We've given him every opportunity. Starting on Monday, Alex is going to be taking snaps with the first team. We're going to see what he can do. We're going to give him a non-conference game against Nevada to get ready for Big Ten play and to see if we can mix some things up, because obviously this plan isn't working. We're excited for Spencer's career as a graduate assistant and as a quarterback's coach.
Yeah, because, and I put this out on Twitter earlier, and I know this is going to sound negative, and people are going to say, Travis, you're going on the wrong road. But if this offense continues to produce numbers like this and nothing changes, Charlie Jones at Purdue, Tyrone Tracy at Purdue will motivate others to say, you can have success somewhere else. The transfer portal is wide open. There's no reason to play in an offense that is this bad.
Charlie Jones is going to turn himself into an NFL wide receiver. The kid that was 4th on the depth chart at the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we were using as that cute little punt return guy, had more yards at halftime than the Hawkeyes have had in almost in either full game they've played this year. One receiver on one team that used to play for the Hawkeyes in one half of football had almost as many yards as the Hawkeyes have had in each game this year. I don't know. I just saw one fly across at the bottom there that just said, no change will happen. I didn't see whoever that was. You're exactly right. No change is going to happen. If you asked me to bet money on it, Jason, let's see, no change will happen. They sold the stadium out knowing they were all coaching and playing those positions. Jason, I don't know about the last part of it, but you're right that no changes are going to happen.
It's absolutely stunning on what we watched today. Here's another stat that is mind-blowing, and we talked about it, and I talked about it on the Morning Rush on Friday, I believe it was, and that was time of possession. Iowa State, 38 minutes and 15 seconds of offensive time of possession. Iowa, just 21 minutes and 45 seconds.
17 more minutes, dude. A full quarter of football. You were on the field longer than you. And by the way, you gave up a 99-yard drive. Travis, it didn't happen at the end of the game like the Big Ten title game against Michigan State, but very similar stuff there.
You're right. Newsflash, it isn't a point of pride to have the longest tenured coach in the country. I mean, they're going to come after him now.
Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, I would push back on that. I'd push back on that. That it is a point of pride that you're not a stepping stone for other institutions. That you've got some stability. And let's not put the cart too far in front of the horse here. Kirk Ferentz has had a really good career at Iowa. Okay?
Absolutely, won't deny it. A good career.
Yeah, but I can't really fight on the actual point that he's making there, because just saying, hey, we've got the longest tenured coach, that doesn't mean anything. There's got to be wins with it. There's got to be stuff that sits behind it. There's got to be laurels for you to rest on besides longevity.
It's interesting because last week, and we heard a lot of experts and insiders, really criticize the booing. And I went on the Morning Rush on our sister station, 106.3 KX, and I said, listen, you may not like booing, but the truth is fans need an outlet. They need a way to voice their frustration. And you may not agree with that. You may not think that fans should voice their frustration. What are you supposed to do? Put your hands and sit on your ass? I don't think that's what you have to do. I mean, you have every right to be frustrated. You have every right to voice your frustration. And you may think it's personal against players and coaches. Well, guess what? It becomes personal after you don't do anything to try to make it better. You are insulting the intelligence of your fan base. You really are. And you can say, well, fans don't know everything. Fans aren't stupid. They can watch a game and go, well, we know stuff's not changing. We know that the quarterback's not making plays. We know the offensive line's not doing a very good job. And if that doesn't change over game, and the truth is it's 10-7, Iowa could have easily won that game. I think the best thing that was said earlier, it was on Twitter, people aren't upset that Iowa State won the game. They're not. They're upset that just the way Iowa played. You can handle losing.
Yep. And I can even handle losing Iowa State. We've beat them, however many times in a row. It's okay to lose one of these games as well. I don't have friends in my life that are going to twist the knife here. I would absolutely agree with that listener or that tweet. This is not about losing to Iowa State.
No,
It has
it's
nothing
not.
to do with that. If they would have lost to Nevada next week looking like this, or if and when they lose to Nevada next week looking like this, you're going to hear this same sort of tone, or you would have heard it this week, because it's so frustrating that we watch this 2 weeks in a row. It's Travis, fans, you might not be able to boo without people telling you that you're a bad human being. You can call into Sound Off and voice your opinions.
You know, and this may be a case where we don't even say anything. We just go, John in Newton, Jane in Atlantic, Dane in Council Bluffs,
Therapy,
Laura
man.
in Underwood. We'll do it all.
Our job's going to be therapists tonight. It's going to be to lay out the couch. You and I will voice our frustrations. We just got a chance to do it here. Some of my fire will die off by the time we go on the air. I probably won't be calling for Coach Farron's head.
You know, you might get more upset the more you think about it.
I might. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nick says, hey, welcome to the life of a Husker fan.
Hey, Nick, Huskers have got some cupcake this weekend, right? Did they already roll up on
the Nebraska plays with Georgia Southern in right now. So that game's getting ready to kick off.
Nick, you're going to be fine, man.
So, and Scott says, is it too early to call in? Unfortunately, yeah. Well, you can call in. You're going to have to be on hold for like an hour and a half, but you can call in right now at 515-284-1040. That is the number for the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off. We start at 8 o'clock or maybe a little bit before. I can see Gary Dolph getting off of here really quick. And then we're on until 11 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be a long drive back in the rain from Iowa City. If you're sitting in your house, get ready to call. Again, 515-284-5966. Ross Peterson, myself, Travis Justice on the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off on News Radio 1040 WHO.